Welcome to the stories of Grandma's Unfiltered Tears. If you are new to our channel, then watch this video completely and do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Today our daughter-in-law said I was cut out of the 77M inheritance. Then the lawyer started laughing. Let's start today's topic. Part 1. The morning everything changed. I was sitting at my small oak wood kitchen table, the one Robert bought me in 1978, polishing my old teacup set when the phone rang. I didn't expect anyone to call so early. My son Michael never called before noon, and Claire, well, let's just say she didn't call unless she needed something. Usually money, a favor or both. But this morning the phone rang sharply, slicing through the quiet like a warning. I picked it up slowly. "Mom," Michael said, voice stiff, "we need to talk. It's about Dad's estate." My heart kicked against my chest. Robert, my beloved husband of 42 years, had passed only 3 months ago. I was still learning how to breathe without him. I was still reaching for his side of the bed at night. "What about it, sweetheart?" Before he could answer, another voice came on the line, loud, crisp, and sharp enough to cut skin. It was Claire. "We're coming over," she said. "We need to explain something, and you better be ready." She hung up before I could respond. I sat there, dish towel in hand, trembling. Something was coming, something bad. Part 2. They arrived 15 minutes later, too fast, as if they'd been waiting nearby. Michael walked in first. My boy, my only child. The boy I raised working double shifts, the boy I packed lunches for every day until high school. The one who slept on my lap whenever thunder scared him. But today he wouldn't meet my eyes. Claire strutted in behind him wearing oversized sunglasses, an expensive designer purse, and the look of someone about to deliver a death sentence. "Sit down," she ordered. I stared at her. She wasn't family, she wasn't even kind. But she sure behaved like she owned the world. "Michael?" I asked, hoping he would soften the moment. He sat, head low. "Mom, this is about Dad's inheritance." I swallowed hard. "His estate," Claire corrected him, pulling out a folded set of papers. "And the $77 million in liquid assets." I froze. 77 million, that number didn't make sense. Robert had been wealthy, yes, he'd built his own chain of hardware stores from nothing, but we'd lived quietly, simply. I never knew the final number until now. Claire unfolded the paper and looked up, satisfied at my shock. "Your husband," she said slowly, "did not leave you anything." I blinked. I don't understand." She leaned forward, voice dripping with rehearsed sympathy. "You were cut out." Cut out. The words echoed in my spine like breaking branches. I turned to Michael. "Sweet, that true?" He swallowed. "Mom, Dad changed things. He wanted the money to go where it would do the most good." Claire smirked. "And that would be us." Part 3. The paper that broke me. Claire slid the paper across the table. "A supposed copy of the will. We spoke to the estate lawyer yesterday," she said. "You're no longer a beneficiary. Michael inherited all business holdings. And I," she placed her hand dramatically on her chest, "received all liquid cash and assets." I stared at the paper. My hands trembled like old leaves. Robert would never. He loved me more than anything. He told me every night, without fail, "Mary, everything I built is yours, always yours." Michael shifted in his chair. "Mum, you're getting older. Dad thought it was better if I handled the money." "It's complicated." "No," Claire interrupted sharply. "Let's be honest. Your mother has no education in finance. She'd waste the money, as if I hadn't worked beside Robert for years. As if I hadn't supported Michael through college. As if I didn't know the value of every penny we earned." My chest tightened painfully. Claire pushed the paper closer. "This is final. Don't embarrass yourself by fighting it." Her words stung like acid. Michael didn't defend me, my own son. My breath cracked. I stood up slowly, holding the back of the chair for balance. "I want to speak to the lawyer myself," I said quietly. Claire laughed outright. "Oh, that's rich. He's not going to waste his time with you. The estate is already being transferred. You have no claim." The room spun. "Robert, what did they do?" Part 4. The lawyer. They left soon after, Claire with the satisfaction of someone who'd won a battle she spent years preparing for. As soon as the door closed, I fell into my husband's old armchair and sobbed silently into the wool fabric. The grief, betrayal, and fear mixed into a storm that shook my whole body. When I finally gathered myself, I reached for the phone. The lawyer had known Robert for 3 decades. He had visited our home countless times. I trusted him. I dialed his number. "James," I whispered when he answered. "Mary." His voice softened instantly. "How are you holding up?" I couldn't respond for a moment. "I need to see you," I finally managed. "Today." He paused. "Come at 2 p.m., he said. "And Mary, bring whatever they showed you." Part 5. The meeting. James's office smelled of leather and old books. He walked around the desk and hugged me warmly. "You look exhausted," he said gently. Sit down. I slid the paper Claire had shown me across the table. He picked it up and then leaned back slowly. A strange expression formed on his face. It wasn't shock, it wasn't amusement. Then suddenly, he started laughing, not a small chuckle, a full, disbelieving, almost relieved laugh. Tears formed in the corners of his eyes. Mary, he said when he finally caught his breath. This is absurd. I stared at him, confused, hurt, desperate. What is absurd? He held up the paper. This is fake. I gasped. Fake. He nodded firmly. Your daughter-in-law either forged this or had someone mock one up. Robert's actual will is locked in my safe. My hands flew to my mouth. I knew he wouldn't cut me out. I whispered, trembling. Not only did he not cut you out, James said, standing to open the safe, but he left Michael and Claire with nothing. I froze. What? He pulled out a thick envelope and placed it gently in front of me. The entire 77 million. He said softly, is yours, every cent. Along with the businesses, the homes, the stocks, everything. My heart thumped so loud it filled my ears. But why? James looked at me with sad, knowing eyes. Because he saw what they became. Part 6. What Robert knew. He handed me a sealed letter addressed in my husband's handwriting. I recognized the curve of every letter. My breath caught. Read it. James urged. With shaking fingers I opened the envelope. Robert's voice filled my mind instantly as I read. My dearest Mary, if you are reading this, I've already gone. I'm sorry to leave you. I fought, but the cancer returned stronger this time, and I didn't want you to watch me fade again. I need to explain why the will is written the way it is. I love our son, but he has lost himself. He married a woman who only sees value in wealth. I have watched her slowly drive a wedge between him and everyone else who loves him, especially you. She tried 3 times to convince me to sign over the businesses to her and Michael early. She threatened to keep grandchildren away from you, all to force my hand. I stayed silent until I could finalize everything properly. You spent your life beside me, you deserve everything. They deserve nothing until they learn respect, humility and family. James knows everything, trust him. Live your life fully. My love, travel, rest, breathe, make new memories. I will always be with you. Your Robert. The letter fell from my hands as I wept. My husband had seen everything, he had protected me even in death. Part 7. The plan. James let me cry as long as I needed. When I finally wiped my face, he spoke calmly. Mary, you have more power here than you think, but you need to be careful. What should I do? Do not tell them anything. Not yet. Let them believe their lie is working. I nodded. He continued. I will schedule the official will reading for Friday. They will come expecting to receive everything. That is when the truth will be revealed in front of witnesses. I inhaled deeply. And the forgery. We'll present it to the authorities afterward, he said. Forging a will is a crime, a serious one. A chill ran down my spine. What will happen to them? That depends on whether you want to press charges. I stared at the letter from Robert. I knew exactly what he would want me to do. Stand tall. Be strong. Let the truth expose them. Part 8. The calm before the storm. The next 3 days felt like walking through thick fog. Michael sent one text. Mom, please don't make this harder. Claire is only trying to make sure things stay fair. Fair. The word made me nauseous. Claire sent nothing. I cooked, cleaned, and walked around the house in silence, touching old memories like photographs. The memories soothed me, reminding me of the life Robert and I built with our bare hands. On Friday morning, I dressed in my dark blue dress, the one Robert always said made my eyes look like the ocean on a calm day. I wasn't calm, but I was ready. Part 9. The will reading. James's conference room was large, with a long mahogany table. Michael and Claire were already there. Claire was smiling, a cat who believed she'd already eaten the canary. Michael avoided looking at me. James entered holding a sealed envelope. Shall we begin? Claire leaned forward eagerly. Yes, please. James opened the envelope and began reading. Part 10. The Truth Unleashed. I, Robert Harold Whitman, being of sound mind. Claire crossed her arms, smug. James continued reading line by line, until he finally reached the distribution of assets. To my beloved wife Mary Whitman I leave the entirety of my estate. Claire jerked upright. What? The James continued, ignoring her. Including all bank accounts, investment portfolios, real estate properties, business holdings and personal assets. Michael's jaw dropped. Claire shot to her feet. That's not right. That's not the will we saw. James slowly put the document down and looked directly at her. Ah yes, he said coolly. The document you presented to Mary 3 days ago. He reached into his briefcase and pulled out their fake will. Claire went pale. Michael swallowed hard. This, James announced to the room, is a forged document. Claire's voice cracked. No, it's not we were told. James raised his hand to silence her. We will be forwarding this to the district attorney's office for investigation. Claire stumbled back against her chair. Michael looked like he'd been hit by a truck. I watched them silently. For the first time they realized the game was over. Completely over. Part 11. The confrontation. Claire pointed at me, voice shrill. You think you're so innocent he chose her over his own son? James spoke calmly. Robert left a letter explaining his reasoning. Mary is under no obligation to share it. But I stood, because I wanted to say it. I loved your father, I said softly, looking at Michael. I took care of him every day. I was there through every surgery, every night of pain, every moment of fear. Tears blurred my eyes. You weren't. Michael's face crumpled. And you, I said, turning to Claire, voice shaking but firm, threatened him, manipulated him. Tried to force him into signing over everything before he died. Her face went white. How do you? Because he told the lawyer, I said, and he told me. Silently, truthful, final. Part 12. Their collapse. Claire erupted. You can't do this, we deserve something. You deserve, James cut in sharply, whatever consequences come with criminal fraud. Michael finally spoke, voice breaking. Mom, please, don't let them arrest Claire. Please, I made mistakes, I know, but don't destroy my family. Tears slipped down my cheeks. You destroyed this family, I whispered. He sank into his chair. Defeated. Part 13. The choice. After the meeting, James closed the door, leaving only me, Michael, and Claire inside. I stared at my son. My only child. He looked smaller than I'd ever seen him. Mum. He begged quietly, I don't want to lose you. I wanted to hold him. I wanted to scream at him. I wanted to run. Instead, I took a long, trembling breath. I won't press charges, I finally said. But you will return every document you took, and you will leave me alone until I decide otherwise. Claire tried to protest. I raised my hand. And if either of you ever try to deceive me again, I said, voice strong, I will let the law handle everything. Silence. Then slowly Michael nodded. Claire had no choice but to do the same. Part 14. Freedom. That evening, I returned home and sat on the porch. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and gold. Robert used to say sunsets were proof that endings could be beautiful too. I hugged his letter to my chest. You protected me, I whispered. Even when I didn't know I needed it. For the first time in months my heart felt light. Free. Safe, loved. Part 15. A new beginning. The next morning I did something I hadn't done in years. I booked a flight. To Greece. The place Robert always wanted to take me. I walked through the house, touching the photo frames gently. This time, I whispered to the empty room, I'll live for both of us. I packed my bags, not out of grief, but out of hope. Epilogue. The letter I wrote back. Before leaving for the airport I left a small envelope in my desk drawer. Addressed to Michael. Inside I wrote, my dear son, you lost your way. But you are not lost forever. When you learn humility, honesty and love again, come find me. Until then I need time to heal. Mom. As I closed the door behind me, I felt Robert's presence like a warm hand on my back, guiding me into my new life, into my freedom, into the sunset he always promised me. Tee.